Hey guys, welcome to the live. Hope everyone can hear me and see me okay. I'm just waiting for my clarification from my team just to make sure you guys can hear me and see me and everything's good. But yeah, this should be fun. So I haven't done this in a while. I used to do lives a lot more often. So the way this is going to go today is I'm here to answer your questions about YouTube. Maybe you've already gotten started. Okay, cool. You guys can see me and hear me. Awesome. So I will answer your questions about YouTube, either whether you've started on YouTube or not. Maybe you've already gotten a few videos or a lot of videos up. I'll answer all your questions, and I can take a look at your channels too. So it'll be fun. I can share my screen, and I want to let you guys know too, before we get going, that if you look right here, we do have a few spots open right now for the YouTube to Clients Academy. It is kind of the start to finish roadmap for YouTube specifically for getting clients if you're an expert. And the cool thing about that is we do weekly Q&A sessions that are not like this, they're on Zoom. So we can actually talk back and forth, which is kind of cool. So you'd get 12 weeks of that for free. They're hour-long sessions. Basically about 10 people are in the group at any given time. So you get plenty of time with me looking at your own stuff. But I think there's maybe 6 seats left or something like that. So they're expected to sell it quick. All right, let's get to the question. Let's just start with a question maybe, and then we can get into looking at some channels. All right, just looking to see. I'm not seeing any questions right now, so I'm not going to dig for them. Let's just go ahead and get into our first channel. Then I will share my screen with you guys. All right, so Money Making Mamas, you're up first. This is Nancy. Okay, cool. So it looks like this is kind of a real estate investing channel, something along those lines. So you've got 378 subs, 338 videos. Okay, so, and then I'm looking here, we have a video from today with no views, the no views from yesterday, 5 days ago, 7 days ago. One thing that occurs to me that I would probably tell you to focus on first, because at first glance, it doesn't look bad to me. I think the thumbnails look fine. I think if I'm looking at this one right here, it does feel like there would be some search volume on that. Maybe not. And then the real reason you haven't bought your first rental property, the clues I look for before I buy a rental, is it too, okay. So this feels like it would definitely have some search traffic. Is it too late to start investing in real estate? The others I'm seeing probably wouldn't. Now, this is important because and this channel is not new, but obviously it's not really catching on yet. So you've got to do a little bit of work to really prime YouTube to know what your channel's about. So what I would do is probably take a step back from doing so many videos and really do the research to figure out what people are searching for. Use a tool like vidIQ, right? I would type in something like, real estate investment. I'm not going to wait for these search results to come up, but basically it'll tell you what keyword phrases people are looking for, and you can just kind of make more educated guesses. Because passive income might be a good one. And it looks to me like I kind of did a little digging on your back catalog. It looked like you used to do more Airbnb stuff, which might explain why some of your older videos have a lot more views. Maybe that was striking a chord with people, and maybe what you're doing now is a little too broad. So if you're gonna do what you're doing now, which is real estate investment, I would really pick your person. I'm sure you have a target avatar, but it's not reading through in the titles or anything. So I think it needs to be more pointed. I would definitely slow down to maybe 1 a week, possibly 2, but really pick your keywords carefully. That's the first thing I would focus on here. So I can't dissect everything on everyone's channels today, but what I can do is I can take a look at okay, this is the top couple things that I would do. if I were you. And that should be enough to at least get you on the right path. All right, cool. So let's go for our next one. Just gonna paste it in here. And this one, oh, there's no name attached to this one. Okay, there seems to be something wrong with this link, guys. So like, Letitia, when you paste these in here, can you please just make sure it's the actual link, because that's not correct. All right, well, we'll come back to that one. I'm gonna try another one here to see if we got it. Okay. Yeah, there's something off here. YouTube.com, trying to get rid of the @ symbol to see, but okay, I'm just gonna, sorry guys. We will get back to these in a minute okay, so it looks like this is the channel at least. Humanity Leads HQ. I'm not sure that this is, oh yeah, Jason Hahn. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, cool. So we got, oh, just to let you guys know, we made a sale. Welcome Kim to YTCA. So we've got 5 spots left. All right, so Jason Hahn, the podcast Clarity Before Capital. Okay, so what we've got going on here is it feels a little too much branding and not enough promise for what people are actually going to get from your channel. So what I like to look for in this is not so much like your name should very much be the title of your channel, especially if you're an expert brand. If you're a personal brand, go for that. But then up here, I want to see exactly what I'm going to get from your channel. Because right now, okay, so IT strategy, capital risk, AI decisions, unscripted. So that's, to me, my brain has to do one too many clicks to kind of figure out what this is going to be about. And then if I look at you've only got one thumbnail here. It's not the most inviting, so I think you've got a little bit of work to do there. The biggest thing you can do is just make sure it's formatted correctly. Like this just looks like it's a mistake. I think it's because it's a podcast, so you basically just repurposed your podcast cover art for this, which doesn't really work for YouTube. You definitely have to be a lot more, deliberate and cater to the audience you've got here. So, and also just kind of just a blank stare probably isn't going to do much either. What I like to do in my thumbnails is, for whatever reason, like smiling doesn't tend to work super great. Oh, welcome, John. We got so 4 spots left. Welcome to YTCA, John. Appreciate it. Can't wait to talk to you in there. Okay, so I don't like to smile. It tends not to work in a thumbnail. And I also don't like to do the like super surprised YouTube face, but something that's just a little bit like, so this says, is AI killing SaaS? I would just be making a look just kind of like, 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 I don't know about that kind of look, you know what I mean? Something like that, but it just reads as a little bit of like drama or troubles on the way, like something like that works pretty well. All right, cool. Let me go back here. I'm just gonna see if I can get to this channel. So okay, yeah. So this is the channel anyway. Let me get to that channel. Okay. Gnosis, the quiet knowing within. Okay, so that's very confusing to me at first glance. So your channel, either it should be your name or it could be, I'd say like, it's either your name or it's some kind of a promise or a hybrid of both. This just feels a little too ethereal for me. So if I go down to your videos, I'm just gonna click here, we'll take a look. Okay, midlife awakening starts when you notice the tone you bring into a room. You're not broken, you're waking up, the first stage of midlife awakening. Okay, so it sounds like you're really trying to make midlife awakening happen here. I love that you have like kind of a branded solution. That's great. The problem comes when you try to package your videos with the solution that nobody knows exists yet. So right now, I would rather you title these like, what's the problem you're solving for people? You don't even, and do not bring up midlife awakening in the title because it's going to confuse people. You introduce that inside of the video as like, this is the solution that you didn't know existed. And then like midlife crisis, how to stop fighting it and hear your inner compass. Yeah. So how to stop fighting a midlife crisis, that could be a good title and topic right there. But hearing your inner compass, again, now I'm confused. You're giving almost too much away in these titles, right? So I would stop this at like how to stop fighting your midlife crisis, something along those lines, and then you teach them inside of it. And then, so in terms of the thumbnail graphics, I'm not sure if this is you on there. Okay, so this is kind of a faceless channel too. Can't say I recommend that. You're never going to build trust with people if you don't show your face, even if it's your voice. And I'm not hearing this, but I'm like, what? And this is just what I'm picking up from looking at your channel. I would almost expect now when I click on this to just hear an AI voice, which is just not gonna do much for you. Actually, let me see what your offer is here, what you're bringing people to. So, because this is important too, guys. We want to make sure you have an offer that's in alignment with your channel, right? So this seems like it's just a newsletter sign up. The Quiet Knowing Within explores inner alignment. I write for men and women who sense that they were taught about life no longer fully matches what they're experiencing. Okay, so I feel like I don't know what I'm going to get with this. Either it's a lead magnet that's an actual thing that I can download, or it's got to be a very, very clear newsletter sign. I call it like a, just like a no-nonsense newsletter, right? Where sign up, and then every week you're going to get an email. You're going to get tips about this, this, and this. This doesn't really do it. It feels very soft to me. All right, welcome, Robert, to YTCA. All right, so if we're counting, we've got 3 spots left at this point. All right, but I'll see you in the group session, Robert. Welcome to the club. All right, next we have Tanner. Let me take a look at this one. Hope this is helpful for you guys. And I apologize, I can't get too deep into every channel, but we've got a lot to go through. So again, it's just more or less like the top couple things that I'm seeing that will give you the most, do you the most good if you were to fix them. All right, Humanity Leads with Tanner Bechtel. Okay, Humanity Leads. So again, what I'm seeing here is just, it's a branding banner. It's not a what I'm gonna get. We do see that a little bit down here, but it should be the main focus. So lead well, live fully, explore more, and then technology for humans. Just, yeah, I would just make this one short statement. Okay, I like the name of the channel. I like a good hybrid kind of thing where promise plus your name. All right, so we've got presentations fail when you start here. Executive presence starts when you stop asking permission. The secret system behind people who never forget. Okay, so what I think we've got going on here, let me just take a look at your, oh, we don't see like popular videos. I'm not seeing that as an option here. Interesting. Okay, so again, this is a question of we need to lean into search first. When you're a new channel, you've got 22 videos. I know to you that probably seems like a lot, Tanner, but you're just getting started with 22 videos. So we need to give YouTube a lot of signals and a lot of data about what our channel's about and who our audience is before they're ever going to push a title like this on people's homepages. Because a title like this is meant to be stumbled upon, right? Nobody is searching for when presentations fail, right? They would look up like how to give a great presentation. So that's another thing too. Like people generally don't, like they don't type in like how not to do things. You know, and a big subgenre on YouTube is just like mistakes and myths and all that kind of stuff. And they can work great when YouTube serves it up to someone on their homepage, but no one's looking for it. So right now, you need to concentrate on making videos people are looking for. Then the right people will watch. Then YouTube will give more of your videos to those people on their homepages potentially. And better yet, like YouTube is just starting to figure out, like, okay, these are the kind of people that like to watch Tanner. So we're gonna, you know, now we're putting together a picture, but you have to earn that. So yeah, lean into search. Thumbnails look pretty good. What I like here is how the thumbnail doesn't reiterate the title, right? Presentations fail when you start here, and then it's like start at the end. So they work together. That's good. But then here we get one where you do reiterate the title. Like it starts when you stop asking permission, then stop asking permission. So what we want to do is really figure out like a complementary packaging that's not just a copy and paste. All right, cool. Couple things to work on there, Tanner, but you're on the right track. All right, let's go for Jason Hahn now. Oh wait, did we already? Yes, we already got to that one. Okay, cool. Oh, wondering if is this the channel we already looked at? It's not, but I would say like what I was saying still applies. The thumbnails do look better than on the podcast when I was looking at, but I would still say like your expression isn't drawing me in. And it's not just because you look like kind of stern, it's just because it just doesn't tell a story. So I would definitely do that. And then you're the problem, according to Microsoft. Again, no one's going to search for that. It is getting some views, so something happened here. I think possibly YouTube knew who to give that video to, so it's getting some views, so that's something. Then AI is useless when your data is broken. Start here, bridging the gap between IT execution and ... It's another thing to look out for. We want to make sure our titles don't get ... dotted, right? Make them like around 60 characters is usually the sweet spot. All right. Let's check out Pete's channel now. Oh, wait. All right, Pete Ramsey, HVAC greatness. All right. Clarity, positioning, profit, insights for HVAC business owners who think differently and lead differently. Cool. Yeah, so this is more what I'm talking about. Good job, Pete. This is what we mean by kind of making a promise with your banner. All right, now let's check out your videos. Okay, who's getting rich? The enshittification of HVAC. Cool. You're getting some decent views here. This is like so it seems like this is what I'm talking about, guys. And I mean, like, once you've gotten to a point where YouTube basically knows who's interested in your topics, that's when you can do titles like this, and it worked for him. So it seems like, so why HVAC customers don't buy from you? So it seems, Pete, like you're in a place where you can now veer away from search titles, which is great. How many videos do you have? Yeah, you've got a ton of videos already, so I'm not surprised. So you can do these more interesting titles. And something like this, there's a lot of drama in that, right? So I would say read into what's worked. Now, it would be hard to like say this exact same title again too soon, but think of other ways you could say something like this, right? And just like play into the drama of whatever this video is really about. I don't know the whole thrust of the video, but like what's it getting to the heart of, and plan a sequel to it. Do something different or do something new based on that. Because what we always want to do, guys, is we always want to figure out what are our like popular videos and resist the urge to say, okay, I've covered that now, so I can't touch that topic again. Yes, you can. When people are like in hardcore deep dive, they're trying to research every angle of something mode, they will watch a ton of videos like on the same topic. Trust me, I do it all the time. I like I'm in the middle of like just researching like Claude design and stuff, and it's just like last weekend I watched probably like 20 videos in a row about Claude design that were all kind of the same video, but so people will do that. Let me see that are popular ones here. Okay, from 3 years ago. One man HVAC business in 2023 and beyond. Interesting, okay. And then make 1 million as a one-man HVAC business owner. Okay, this is interesting. And I think this, I would lean a little bit more into this if you haven't lately, Pete, is this whole idea of starting a one-person business. And I would also be leaning in right now, if you haven't already, how can you talk about AI in a way that would help someone starting their own HVAC business? AI topics, or this is like, we're at a point right now where you're never going to get this opportunity again, probably, to really lean into like a hot topic like AI. And almost any profession or any industry can have some kind of a AI angle to it. All right, welcome Renee. Welcome to YTCA. So another one. So we have 2 spots left at this point. All right, so yeah, and I think like and I know we're not at your latest videos right now, but actually these are from a month ago. Some of these thumbnails are way too busy. And they like this one right here, that looks like an old school like newspaper ad almost. So like this kind of style is much better. And I apologize whenever I mouse over it, it goes away. But you know what I mean, this first one, I think that one's better. And I would also lean into just using your own face, Pete. I assume that's you right there because it's there too. Yeah. Put yourself in all of them. Because I think people don't necessarily like the idea of like just having an AI person in the thumbnails who it's not connected to the video topic itself. So I would just lean into having you're the face of the brand, you're the expert. So always be present. All right. We'll move on now to Ian's channel. All right. Okay, Ian Callahan, midlife reset. You know what to do, so why don't you do it? Tough love. Love to see it. All right. Here we go. So the problem isn't information, it's this. Okay, let's take a step back. Okay, so you have about 12,000 subs, 280 videos, and midlife. Okay, so talking to us about midlife crises, maybe. So this to me, unless I know who you are already and I know your channel, like that would mean nothing to me. And that's fine. Sometimes you can have videos that are just meant for your community. And those are actually good to have because those deepen the relationship. So, but just so you know, so we're on the same page, I would never expect this video to catch on with like new people, okay? The real reason you crave alcohol. Interesting, okay. More specific, I like that. The question that ends any craving, quit drinking after 45 years. Cool. Bored after quitting alcohol, here's what actually works. Yeah, these seem like good topics, and I like that it's a very defined niche here. So it's helping midlife, it looks like men in their midlife stop drinking. I would maybe lean into that up here too. I realize I'm harping a lot on these banners. They're not the most important thing because people only see them when they come to your channel, but it sets a tone for people of what you're about. So it's really helpful to have that. I would rather see like some kind of promise of like, I'll teach you how to be sober in midlife or something like that, as opposed to being kind of cryptic. Because I just thought this would be general advice about like navigating a midlife crisis or just navigating midlife in general. I liked your thumbnails a lot. And this style, I feel works a lot. Like this kind of just hangout video. I've seen like where people are just kind of like walking through their neighborhood talking and stuff like that. So it can work. Good job. You're doing pretty well. I mean, you've got some good views. Again, double down on your winners and just try to hone in on like, what's working and what's not. So since everything here looks pretty good, I'm going to check out your offer just to see like what we can improve there. Okay, you know what you're doing, you cannot stop. So that is a pretty vague headline. So I would definitely like make this more of a landing page where it's like, we know exactly what the offer is. Assuming there is an offer. I would hope there's an offer because otherwise, okay, get the ebook. All right. So yeah, it's about an ebook or about a guide. So you got to choose what this is about. Do you want to add people to your list? I would, if I were you, I'd have some kind of an offer. I would have some kind of just a low dollar offer, or it can be all about the book, whatever, but has to be something. Otherwise, you're doing a lot of work on YouTube, and then you get them to your website and you're losing them. So, yeah, it's all an ecosystem that works together. Let's not forget that. Okay, let's check out the next one. And I don't have a name attached to this one, so we'll just find out together. The Loker Locker, practical iPhone and cell phone photography tips. Cool. All right. So what do we got? About 1,000 subs, 54 videos. Okay, so you're still kind of early on in your journey as well, unless they've been spread out over a long period of time. I don't know. This iPhone setting photographers use to get perfect shots. Okay. New MagSafe tripod adapter, part 3. Cool. So it seems like there's probably some built-in search volume for these words. If you're not doing the actual research for that, I would encourage you to do so, just to make sure that you're really getting the best bang for your buck. And I would also I think your thumbnails are okay. I think they would look a lot better, more like, I really like this one. This image looks really great, especially when you're trying to teach people how to use iPhones and like do great photography. This image looks really great. This one looks kind of basic. You know what I mean? So like you're trying to teach people to be a good photographer, so the thumbnail has to sell that. I like this. I would definitely get rid of this over here. I would just make it a full width image and just use the negative space over here to have your text in white. That's going to look a lot better. Let's just see what you've got to offer us here. All right. Okay, so yeah, this is not an ideal landing page either. So just make sure if you're doing all this work on YouTube, guys, you got to be able to send people somewhere. You have to be able to monetize it, unless it's just monetized through AdSense. All right, welcome to YTCA Mohammed. One spot left, guys. One spot left. All right. Not putting the high pressure sales tactics on, just letting you know what I know. All right. We will go to Matt Griffith next. I'm trying to look through the chat here to see if there's any actually just questions. Oh, I just have one here. Let me go ahead and get to it. Let's just to switch things up a bit. And then I can do this. Okay. So we Pankaj Kumar. Hi Wes, thanks for the wonderful videos, specifically the how to make YouTube scripts. I'm an online math tutor. Question. I have YouTube ideas and titles from questions parents ask me, but search volume's low. Yeah, I mean, having low search volume is not necessarily a bad thing, especially if your channel is new. You don't need everybody in the world to watch your videos, right? As an expert who's doing YouTube to get clients, what you need are the right people watching. And sometimes it does have a very low search volume, and you have to be okay with that. Then the idea is, as your channel grows, so can the keywords you go for, right? And by the way, as your channel grows, at a certain point, you no longer necessarily have to go for keywords, right? We've talked about it. Once you get to that level where YouTube knows what to do with you and knows who likes your channel and like who would be into it based on other things they're watching, then you don't have to worry about it as much. And you can do more kind of high caliber things. But we have to start from searches that people are actually doing. So I would say, like, I don't know what we're talking about for low search volume, but anything like, as long as it's got like a couple hundred searches a month, I think that's fair game. All right. Oh, and let's do this one too. Take Back Your Temple says, gulp. I haven't posted on my channel in 9 months. Instead, focusing on my Facebook page. Do you have a strategy to reconnect with my YouTube subscribers? Yeah. I'm just gonna see if I can. Well, no, I'm not. Never mind. I'm not going to go to your channel because I don't want to lose this one. But I would say if you've taken a break from YouTube, don't stress about it. It depends how big your channel was to begin with. If it wasn't very big to begin with, then you're good. People generally don't care if you take a step back, because you got to think about how much were you in their lives, right? If you had a lot of diehard fans, then you might just want to do one video and just, in the first one back, just say, hey guys, I realize I've taken kind of an extra long break. Sorry about that, but I'm recommitting right now to being here for you guys, every week or whatever. You don't need to make a special video about it. Just come back, say, acknowledge that you were gone, and re-acknowledge your newfound commitment to them. All right. Moving on, let me go ahead and get to this other screen here now. Cool. Back to Matt, the Americano. So let's see if we can tell what the channel's about. The realities of retiring in Colombia. It's not what you think. Moving to, okay, cool. Relocation to Colombia. Yeah, great. Moving to Colombia, here's what the new president could change. Colombia immigration explained. Great stuff. I have very few notes on like the titles. It does feel very much like it's for a specific person. We got someone in one of my groups, or my YTCA group, who it's the same kind of channel but for Germany. So I'm kind of aware of this style of channel. I would say I would get rid of some of the busyness on some of the thumbnails. Like I wouldn't do 2 different messages. Right? So you have, before you move to Colombia, then a Colombian lawyer explains, and then this one has the same kind of thing. Stick to one message in a thumbnail. It's gonna work a lot better. Now let me just go ahead for fun. I'm just gonna.
What makes a day?
Oh. This is on my account where I don't get to skip ads. Here we go. Skip.
Last week I made a video about the 12 money mistakes people make in retirement. It was very responsible. People said nice things.
Cool. I like it. I like your energy. I don't really have much to pick apart there. So I think, yeah.
I felt like an adult. This is not that video, because that video told you what to avoid. This one is about all the stuff that happens anyway. The stuff nobody warns you about.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of notes for you. This is it's pretty good. Let me just see if there's anything else. Yeah, just simplify the graphics, I'd say. But it looks like you're doing something right. I mean, you've got a good subscriber base. You're getting good views for your videos. So, all right. Welcome to YTCA, Michael. That means officially we are sold out for this time. So if you're interested in YTCA for next month, just go ahead and you want to go to the sales page for it, which is right here, wesmcdowell.com/YTCA. Go ahead and get on the wait list. They get a few days of a head start. So you'll be the first to be notified. All right. Enough of that. We can get rid of that now. All right. Let's get back to it. We got our next channel up for viewing here. Yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I would like to do this more often. It's kind of fun, actually, just to kind of rapid fire through these. All right, Swift Immersive. The value of an idea lies in the using of it. Okay, so again, I'm confused, or like it just doesn't really like. It's kind of like a, it's a cat poster. It's not really a, doesn't tell me anything that useful for knowing if I'm in the right place or not. And these thumbnails are very, 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 very busy, and they're very AI. Yeah, Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have too much to say about this. AI risks facing families, how Christian leaders can help. Yeah, you really need to start leaning into search-based titles. I'm not sure what the mechanism of the channel is. The future belongs to those who innovate it. Build your AI future. Okay, so you're selling a subscription, your own custom AI-powered website. Okay. So that to me, I just don't see the connection between your channel and that. So something to be really careful about. Unless this is just more of an entertainment style channel, in which case I'm not qualified to weigh in on it. So yeah, I think this is a little too far away from what I talk about to really do it justice. All right. So this one has a comment attached to it that says, I did a lot of shorts, but no dice. So basically, oh, so this is just kind of, is it more of a shorts channel or just, no, it's all. Okay, so are we saying the shorts? Yeah, first of all, I would say, if you are using YouTube to get clients or to prove establish yourself as an expert in something and you're trying to make money off of that, not on ads, even if you're trying to make money with ads, shorts are not the play. Shorts get a lot of glory just because they're very current and it's kind of like what people like to waste their time on. But that's what they're doing. They're wasting their time on it. And I don't want you wasting your time on it. So basically, you might get a lot of views. It seems like you're saying you're not on this, but even if you did get a ton of views on your shorts, they've studied this a lot. Like so many people have gone through this, and it almost never leads to clients. It almost never leads to money on the other side. Even if you're doing this for ad money, what YouTube pays you is laughably low for AdSense money. So if I were you, abandon shorts altogether. The only thing I think they're good for is for practice when you're brand new, just to pull it out and get used to talking to a camera. Let's see what else you got. So we have Webmaker Circle, untangle your tech, make smart tech choices, build coherent digital ecosystems, and so it's a lot of words to kind of say one thing that should be said a lot simpler. So untangle your tech is pretty good. But even that is a little, like, I don't know, like, are you tech support? Not sure, right? Because I hear Webmaker Circle, and I start thinking you're a web designer. But then I hear, this makes me think IT support. So the truth about Wix and Squarespace, why most websites never launch. Cool. That's okay. When we're talking about search traffic, I would say, I would probably title this something like Wix versus Squarespace, and then have some kind of a subtitle after that. But be careful about the colon in a title. It's such a dead giveaway of like a ChatGPT title. I prefer titles that just have like one idea presented. So why most websites never launch, why your website isn't working and what you really need. Best simple tech stack for solopreneurs in 2026. I'm just going to go to your popular ones and let's see what. Okay, so this one seems to be the one that has done the best. So it seems like you are still trying to figure out what's really going to catch on for you. So I'm just trying to make sense of I think the problem is too, okay, I guess I'm seeing what it's about. It is about websites, but I don't know for what purpose or for whom, right? Website builders won't teach you this. And then, so your website isn't working, isn't working for what, right? I need to know from you, who are you for? And that should be very present here. Why your website isn't getting you more B2B leads. Something like that, right? Because it just isn't working. If I were to come across this on the homepage, I don't know that I would it's not super compelling enough yet. So what I would do is I would really work with Claude and by the way, another cool thing you guys can do, highly encourage it. I found out about it semi-recently. the whole vidIQ Claude connector. So basically, vidIQ has access to everything on your channel and all the other channels. So it knows what topics are getting a lot of traction, what keywords are working, and what ones aren't. And if you go into Claude and you connect it and you put it on a high setting, like I'd probably put it on like Fable 5 if you have that, or Opus 5, and say, hey, use the vidIQ connector, look at everything that's working in my niche, and tell it exactly what you do. What is your business, right? And say, give me a bunch of ideas for videos that lean into the problem that my ideal customer is probably facing. And then give me search terms, and then give me titles that go along with it. Because right now, it does just feel a little scattershot, and it feels like you're just kind of making videos that you feel like you want to make. And unfortunately, that doesn't work very well. Like, we do have to put in a lot of effort to figure that out. I will tell you guys right now, 80% of the battle of YouTube, I'm not even kidding, 80% is your topic and title. You could make the world's ugliest video, and if it's got a great topic, it'll do fine. You can make the most beautiful video, and if no one cares about it, no one's even gonna click on it. So the content doesn't even have to be that good if the topic is great. So spend a lot more time on that, and I think you'll be very well served. Okay, moving on to Osama. Oh, let's go back to let's just do questions for a second. I found a question here. All right, the neural network, how do you make a thumbnail like you have on this video? Yeah, so I use ChatGPT for all of my thumbnails. You guys can probably tell they're AI, and it's fine. Like I think a lot of people use AI thumbnails now. The good news is they are getting a lot better. I think if you check out some of my older ones, they look a lot less like me. I think it's doing a much better job now. So just use ChatGPT Image Generation 2, and all you have to do is like, you give it a photo of yourself, ideally just making the exact face you want to be making, and then say like, and then if there's another thumbnail you see somewhere on YouTube that you like the style of or whatever, you can give that to it as well and say, remake like this style of thumbnail using this other person's face. You can say me, but it doesn't always know that it's you. So just say like with this other person. And then I add the text myself in Photoshop just because I'm a designer and I know how to do that. But if you don't have Photoshop or don't want to use Canva, you can just literally tell it what text you want in it. It'll even do a pretty good job of getting a font. If you give it a fairly standard font, you can kind of have it do that. So, and oh, the trick to this is too, pro tip, tell it to make you 5, I always just do 5. Give me 5 unique versions of it, and say as standalone images, not as a collage. Otherwise, they'll kind of put them all together as a collage. So you basically get 5 thumbnail options like that. So it's pretty easy to do. All right. Back to you, Osama. Okay. Osama the Algo Trader. Automate your trading, get funded, protect your accounts, grow your wealth. Great. All right. Let me go to your videos. I like your image here. What I would, if I'm being super picky here, Osama, what I would do is I would probably I'd get rid of, you don't need to announce yourself here because we already see it in your title, or the channel name, I should say. So I would just make this all about like the promise. And a lot of people, I've seen this a lot, like it's a lot of the bullets of like 4 things. I prefer it just to be like one simple, unique, not unique, one simple statement. And don't treat it like a tagline. Like make it extremely clear what it is. Like I think mine says something like, I'll help you get your first 100 clients on YouTube. You know what I mean? So just something as simple as that. Think of it almost like a LinkedIn headline, how people do those now. All right. How to trade Forex while working 9 to 5. Cool. 9 to 5 profit. Cool. I would say, I mean, it is the text is a little different than the title because it does add the word profit to it, but we're still in the like 9 to 5. But that's a little thing. I turned a viral trading strategy into a bot. Here's what happened. Cool. That's interesting. So that's a great example of like a homepage, like a discoverable type title. So it seems like you are also in that boat, Osama, where you can get away with titles like that. So that's great. And that something about like I've tried these kind of titles before for myself. They don't always work. Sometimes they backfire. Sometimes they sound great. Like I tried this thing. You would think it's very curiosity inducing, and a lot of times it works. I feel like whenever I do it, people don't care. So it just depends on who your audience is. Aqua funded, standard versus pro versus elite. Which one to choose? Cool. I assume, I don't know what that is, but I assume it's kind of a program people know what it is. So popular, let's see. Okay, you've got one for 10,000 views. 1-step versus 2-step, choose your FTMO path. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is a couple of videos that you might wanna lean more into these topics, right? Choose your FTMO path. So like what's like the sequel you could make to this? It's also about FTMO, right? Maybe you've made other videos on that topic that haven't done well, I don't know. I'm not going through all of them, but and then you have how to install MT5 EA in 5 minutes. Yeah, so I would lean into these, right? You've got the clues right here of what's working. Now, you don't need to do all of your videos to be bangers, right? The way I look at my videos is I've kind of come around to a few things recently. I have what I call my beacon videos, right? The ones that I want them to go really big on purpose, knowing that I'm probably going to get some of the wrong people in there too. It's probably not, everyone in there is not going to be right for my channel, but it's going to just kind of like lasso enough new people. And then the next week I'll do something that's a little more deliberate, meant for my specific audience of, experts who want to try YouTube to get clients. So one is meant just to, again, to be that lasso, pull everyone in. Then the other one's meant to like kind of funnel the right people down further. So I'm not saying you have to make all your videos to be beacons or, banger videos, but you definitely want to take the clues as they're given to you. So yeah, looks good, Osama. All right. And we've got Ankush. Let's take a look at you. Oh, and I see Peter, you said, please be gentle, Wes. I think I was, right? I think I had good things to say. All right. Okay, Ankush Para, stuttering, stammering, anxiety coach. Cool. Okay. Now, this is not in English, and I apologize. I am not a speaker of this language, so I not a lot I can say without being able to know that. So what I will say right away is if you're, it looks like you're kind of doing a mixed language thing here though, with like I see some English words mixed with a different language, and then some are English. This is the thing, you really do need to pick a lane in terms of what your language is going to be, and here's why. The big thing to think about, when I hear people ask me the question of like, okay, so should I have one channel or two, right? I'm pivoting from this topic to this topic. What I always say is, if you're making videos for two different people, then it's a case for two different channels. Or in your case, like, you would maybe just pick one and perfect it and then do another one in the other language. But basically imagine if someone watches this video in English and then this video comes out the week after, I'm not gonna watch it, right? So like every video you make should be applicable to the same people in theory, right? So that's kind of all I can say here. And I would also say maybe the thumbnails look a little busy. Again, we've got two different messaging blocks, basically, so just be careful of that too. All right. So now we have, it's George or Jorge, I'm not sure. Florida owner financed homes, all right. Let's check it out. All right. Okay, so I see something right away. So this is kind of the classic realtor YouTube trap, right? Where what we like to see on YouTube are evergreen videos that you can make and it will get traction all year or maybe even 3 or 4 years from now. The classic realtor mistake is they treat YouTube kind of like a dumping ground for property listings. Now, you know, they might do you some good just to sell a property fast. I don't know exactly how this works though. I don't know, like, and I have looked on, I've watched YouTube about like different suburbs that, you know, we're having a baby soon, so life's gonna change. We may move to the suburbs in a few years. So I've been looking up on YouTube like different suburbs. It's mostly not videos like this. I have come across a few of these kind of videos, but it's mostly like, Naperville versus Hinsdale. You know, which area is best for you, or like kind of weighing in on going all in on a certain town. That's going to be really helpful for people. If I'm planning on moving to Florida or something in a specific city, I will go to YouTube to figure out the lay of the land there and like what I want to be looking for. So just looking at a property, I'm not saying never put these in here. Maybe do them as shorts though. Maybe the shorts become the property listings, and then just the more evergreen stuff becomes your bread and butter on here. That way people will binge some of your videos, and then they'll be like, oh, George is my guy. Like I need a realtor. I've seen like three or four of his videos. I'm just gonna call him, right? So that's how I would do that. How are we on time here? It's I'm going for almost an hour. I'm good to go for a little bit longer. I can go for, we've got quite a stack of channels to get through still here. By the way, if you're here, go ahead and ask a question or pop in your channel and we can take a look at it. All right, we have unique senior care. I feel like I've looked at this one before. Have you, I think maybe I just saw it today, never mind. Okay. All right, unique senior care, advice and reassurance for every step of your care journey. All right, so how do you choose the right home care provider? Nervous about having carers in your home, what to expect? What is home care? Okay, cool. So it looks like these do feel very much like they're going for search traffic, which is good. You have 290 videos, so by now I would like to see a little bit more action on some of these videos. And I think a problem that I'm seeing just off of these is the thumbnails are not exactly inviting me in. They don't really look like thumbnails. And we have to be careful on YouTube. We have to play the game, right? Every different platform has their own little language. They're like love language or whatever you have to kind of lean into if people are going to pay attention to you there. So thumbnails have to look like thumbnails, right? There's a lot of different kinds of thumbnails, but this looks like part of a flyer or something. You know what I mean? So like, I would just say like, how do you like, what is home care? I'm just gonna just for fun, let's go on a little journey here. What is home care? Just gonna see what other people are doing for their thumbnails. Okay, what is home care healthcare? What is home care? See, like to me, this looks just so much more like a thumbnail than what you've got going on. And it's breaking the rule that I have, which is it shouldn't just repeat what it is. But this is from 7 years ago too, so people were a little less savvy back then. But I would just do something like your face, just have it be like a full-scale photograph with just like one little interesting phrase. Like it could be, what is home care? I would just say like, do's and don'ts, or like 5 must knows, or 5 tips, or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. That's just like adds a little extra. But what we don't want is like, we don't want your logo on the thumbnail that just, people don't, they shy away from content on YouTube that just looks like a business put it out. And that's what having a logo does. And I get it's a podcast, so it's different, but yeah. I would definitely lean away from this aesthetic a little bit. You're doing it right with the search terms. I'm just gonna see, like, I'm just gonna click in here real quick.
People worry, they act on impulse, and it's something that they need to do in a more controlled way.
You're listening to the Care Podcast, brought to you by...
Okay, so yeah, it's just, we're not getting into it fast enough either. If you're gonna repurpose your podcast onto YouTube, what works as a podcast does not work on YouTube as is. I do it the opposite way. Like, I put my YouTube videos on Spotify as a podcast, so it starts with the hook. You gotta start with a hook. You can't just start with like, and I get like a lot of podcasts do that thing with the cold open of like a quote from somebody, but this quote,
People worry, they act on impulse, and it's something that they need to do in a more controlled way.
yeah, so like that's not doing the trick. Basically, it's not interesting, or it doesn't pull me in. So if you're gonna do that, it better be something that's like teasing something that's coming, or something that's like kind of jolting me awake and like acting as an actual hook. So I think thumbnails, and you got to work on your hooks too, and I think you'll be better off. All right. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Okay, we have Albert up next. Okay, your English fluency coach. Great. All right, so we've got almost 19,000 subs, 96 videos. That's pretty good for 96 videos. Good job. But then like your latest videos don't seem to have a lot of views, but I mean, you know, a couple hundred in a lot of these, that's pretty good. Okay, so let me just go ahead and look at your popular videos to see if I can find anything here. 7 secret ways to practice English speaking with Google. Cool. Yeah. Ooh. So I think this is going to be good for you. Obviously it is. I would really lean into the AI of this too. Like, not every video, but I would go back and forth to it. Like, you know, Claude is obviously having a moment right now. I would definitely say like how to use, there's all those like the voice modes on all these things. Probably that might be what you kind of cover in some of these, but definitely lean into that. Okay, stop talking AI. I stand corrected. Okay, apparently you're not supposed to do that. But yeah, I don't know, like the thumbnails seem fine to me. Can't stop translating in your head. Okay, this is interesting. So this one, 206 views. It's not getting like a whole lot more than these, but it's getting more. And I've heard of this as a thing. Like, I'm terrible about learning languages. I always mean to start, but apparently like people like to correlate learning a language with like a show or something. So I might lean more into that. Like, what other shows can you draw on for this? Like, you know, learning a show like with The Office, or learning a language with The Office or something. I don't know. Something to think about. It's just like, again, look at the clues, look at what's been working. Just gonna take a look at your hook here.
My uncle has mastered butter chicken. Social media? Not so much.
Today I saw an image. I'm going to draw it for you, okay? Because the image I'm going to show you now is very, very useful for everybody. This is just 2 parts of a mountain. Here there's nothing.
Okay, it's interesting. I kind of like the idea of starting off with a drawing. I think it's a little disconnected from the title. If you watch this, if you feel like you can't speak English the way you want, I would almost start at something like, if you don't feel like you can speak English as much as the way you want to, it reminded me of this drawing I just saw, and then you pull it out. So we're immediately reminding people they're in the right spot, because otherwise people are just kind of like, wait, what? I thought this was about speaking English. Now he's going to draw something. So you have to like just pull them in with your hook. It's super important to do that. Okay. Now we've got another one here. Let's see if there's any questions too. Yeah, I'm just go ahead and I'll get back to this in a second. Okay, so let's take this one. Safety Simon says, and by the way, sorry guys if I'm not getting to all the questions. I'm just kind of scrolling and seeing what I see, so forgive me. I'm not promising to get to every single question. I will try to get to every YouTube channel that's been submitted though. Safety Simon says, should I separate my podcast off the channel to another one? Yeah, so that totally depends. So basically what I'm hearing you say, Simon, is you have your YouTube channel and some of your videos are your podcasts being repurposed. The way I look at it, again, we touched on this earlier, is it for a different audience or is it for the same audience? With the same audience, get value out of it. If that's the case, you can have it on the same channel. In fact, YouTube, I think, has like a new feature called shows or something like that. It's kind of like playlists, but I think it's meant to be more like for actual shows. Like, I think it's meant for like entertainment shows, like for all the people that do like, you know, TV scale kind of show, like all the big channels would use it. So I'm not even sure if it's available to everybody, but if it is, I think that would be a good place to use that. And then let's, hold on. The Locker. This is in response to my review. What do you mean when you say no name attached? My channel used to be my name, Drew Locker, then I changed it to the Locker. Should I change it again to reflect something photography specific? Not necessarily. I don't recall what you're talking about when I said no name attached. I don't remember saying that. You don't necessarily have to have your niche referenced in your channel name. It can be helpful, especially when you're new, but we all have to make these decisions early on when we start our channels. Like, are we going to be a personal brand? Are we going to be more of a business brand? Do we want to have those keywords in there? The only problem with keywords is they can limit you from ever pivoting if you ever wanted to do that. I went from, my old channel was called The Deep End. It was the name of my business. And then at a certain point, I pivoted just over to my name just to give me more flexibility. And good thing, because I made several pivots since then. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead. I will get back to this for now. All right, New England gutter systems. Why choosing the right gutters matters in heavy rain. That's a good keyword probably. Or I would say like what, I would actually rephrase this of like what makes the difference in good gutters, basically. Like what is a good gutter, right? Not like why questions are a little weird sometimes, because people don't always want to know like why. Why always suggest something that's kind of like I don't know, just ethereal, like why is this important? No, it's like, how do I do this? How do I choose this? Is going to be more valuable for most people. And I would say this thumbnail reminds me of when I go onto my homepage and it's just going to be like 5 hours of like classical music to listen to and like with rain sound effects. So this thumbnail is not grabbing me. It has to have something in there that feels like a thumbnail. And this just feels like, these feel very scientific drawings. These also are kind of bad examples of thumbnails. In fact, I'm not seeing any thumbnails here that I would put my stamp of approval on. So you've got a little work to do there on the thumbnails, I'm afraid. And yeah, I would just try to really solve people's problems. gutter guard installation, choosing the right system for your New Hampshire home. So I see what you're trying to do there, but with New Hampshire home. But people are not going to be choosing, people are not like, I need gutters and I live in New Hampshire. They'll do that on Google if they're looking to like buy them or hire someone. But on YouTube, it's really more about like, just what do I need? What kind of gutters do I need, right? So you can maybe say like the region, just make it a little less specific. But then again, this is the kind of business that's a little tricky on YouTube. It definitely can work. And the cool thing about this kind of channel too is like, it's going to be a good feeder for you for AI recommendations. So that's good. Like if the fact that it knows you're in New Hampshire is good. So if I'm going to like AI like ChatGPT or Perplexity and saying, recommend a good gutter installation company near me, then it will have it will have picked up your videos to know that you are a reputable vendor there. So it can work there, but it's really tricky to make YouTube work on its own to get clients when you're in a small area, because people will be like looking at it from everywhere. I get it, this is New England, so it might cut it down a little bit, but all right. Cool, let's move on. We have architecture, photography, pro, be more profitable. Cool, so again, I would get rid of this tagline up here. I would just keep this because that's a nice promise, love that. How to create an architecture, photography pricing sheet that closes deals. Okay, it's very niche, but like it's valuable to have something like that. I would say more like, I would make it maybe about the pricing sheet inside the video. And I would maybe have it more just like the title just be like, how to price architecture, photography so it closes more deals, right? So then it would be about like how to actually price yourself. And then this would be the extra bonus of like the pricing sheet. Then architecture, photography clients, how to manage multi-stakeholder photo shoots. How to manage it's just very wordy. And these, I'm sure, are very valuable to the right person. So I'm not even telling you to get less specific. I would just say every video you make should not be that specific. We talked earlier about the idea of beacon videos. You need some of those too. Turn your real estate photography into, I'm just gonna see what your popular videos are. Okay, so how to shoot a multi-day hotel assignment and deliver images to get you rehired. So like that's really like, I would even just say like, how to shoot hotels. You know what I mean? Like, obviously this is your top video, but it's still, 243 views. There's room for improvement, but the good news is it's only a month old, so it's not bad. And you've got 68 subscribers, so, and you're still early on in your journey. So I think you still are at the point where you need to be looking at search volume. So do some that are very specific and very niche down. What I call these like zoomed in topics, right? They're very zoomed in to something specific. For every one of those you do, you probably need to do 2 that are much more zoomed out, right? Just like how to start a architecture photography business, right? How to get clients for your architecture photography business. Okay, how to say, how I'd get my first architecture photography client today, I would just simplify that. And you could, by the way, you can do this right now. You can change these titles to something more search friendly, or you could just make another one with that title structure. But don't get too like interesting in your titles yet. Just go for the search stuff. All right. Moving on to Louis or Louis. Never know how to pronounce that one. All right. You lead everywhere else. Learn to lead yourself under pressure. Emotional leadership for high-performing men. Okay. So I kind of get it, but I don't quite get it too. So like, this is a real, I'm not going to say a problem, but it's very common in this, like what I will call the life coaching space, which I assume that's kind of what this is. The language tends to get very kind of woo-woo in a sense, to where clarity's lost. So always make sure that your videos have a very specific focus to them. So you've got 56 subs, 18 videos, great, off to a good start. Strong at work, defensive at home, the pattern no one talks about. Yeah, so no one's gonna be searching for that. 5 communication mistakes men make without realizing it. Again, people aren't really searching for mistakes or like what not to do. The stress you bring home is, so yeah, these are all very much meant to be found on the homepage. Lean into search. I think your thumbnails look good. I have no notes there. Let me just
because you kill it at work and you're successful on paper doesn't mean the people you care about and love the most actually want to be around you. Now, it's not
good hook. I like that. It's like a tough love hook that'll get people to kind of stick around. So I think stick with that kind of style. I think that's going to work for you. I would just say, like, you gotta get better titles that people are actually looking for. All right, we have Enoch next. Okay. AI chatbots that scale businesses. Great. Okay, so like this reads to me very much like I am a business, hire me right now. We don't want that feeling on a page. What you want is you want it right here, which you've got. So like that is great. This is exactly what you want to have. And by the way, we haven't mentioned this yet today. You want to have a link like this also at the top of every description, so that once people are ready to hire you and ready to move forward, it's very easy for them to do that. But we don't want this to feel like an ad. We want this to feel like a promise. All right, let's move on to what we see here. Webhooks explained for building AI chatbots and automations. Cool. How to build an Instagram AI chatbot for small businesses in 20. Okay, so you're definitely gearing yourself towards search, which is good. Bot press versus ManyChat. Cool. So I would say your view counts seem good to me for like where you're at right here. Like I think you're doing well. And then we've got one here. It's 533 views. That's great. So again, take it as a clue, right? How to build a $1,000 WhatsApp AI chatbot for high-ticket coaches. If high-ticket coaches are your avatar, then maybe don't do what I'm about to say. But if that's not necessarily your avatar, I want you to make that same video, but for SaaS businesses, for solopreneurs. You know what I mean? Like, take it and run with it. Like it's a good template that you can transfer to other people. But just make sure that I do want to see you have kind of an avatar though that you can make every video for, or it's just going to be a little scattershot. But yeah, it's looking good. And let me look at your offer here. Perfect. Love to see this. This is great. So basically what Enoch's done here is he's made it easy for people to, once they've seen enough on his channel, to just go and book something with him. If I have any nitpick here, I might lead the page with some kind of a hero section with like a promise of here's the problem I'm going to solve for you, right? Because otherwise it's just kind of like chatbot discovery call. Okay, what am I going to get from this call? As opposed to like, we'll chat for 30 minutes and I will point you to this, this, and this so that you have this either like mental state in the end, or you have a starting point in the end, or you have a deliverable in the end. So you just want to be really clear on the promise. All right. Got another one here. And this one, there's no name here, but the comment is 3-year-old channel, 5,000 subs, but stalled a bit. Okay. This looks really good. The style of it looks awesome. Home of the Flyagonal Options Income Academy. I would just say though, like, I love the style of it, but again, it doesn't really give me a promise, and it's more about like you and your business. So we always want to be careful about that. That it's never we never want to signal that our channel is about us, because it's really about the help that we give to you, right, the viewer. Okay. So yeah, 5,000 subs, 729 videos. This one's got 244 views. Weekend update and market outlook. Okay, so like this is a classic like non-evergreen video. Sometimes it's okay to have that, but you definitely like want to have more keywords than this. Like weekend update for what? Like I think weekend update, I think Saturday Night Live, right? So like make sure it's weekend update for a specific thing. So if someone's typing in like S&P 500 weekend update, right? How I used AI to find this $565 covered call trade. Yeah, that's good. 800 billion wiped out. Are we heading into a crash? So I would be interested to know, like, what were your old videos doing? Okay, so how I make money trading options every week. So do we see like this? This is what we call a zoomed out video, right? It's not super like pinpointed into something super specific. It's how I make money trading online, right? I would do more videos like that. That was a year ago. Do an updated version of something like that. The Flyagonal, my new favorite income strategy. Yeah. Okay, so this is interesting, and I'm actually surprised it did well because, but sometimes like things don't work as you always think. This to me is the Flyagonal something that I would want to like put in the video as like a reveal or a solution, or even like you could put it in the thumbnail, but I wouldn't even put it as like it's very much a logo, which makes me think that it's going to be a product you're selling, which makes me less interested, as opposed to it just being like, oh, what's a Flyagonal? I've never heard that term before, like a proprietary term, right? So, but I mean, it did well, so I can't talk too much smack about it. Option alpha trading with bots. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, you're still doing well. You've still got something. So 4 months ago, you got a good video. Your best one is 30,000. Trade alerts explanation video. So like, what can you do there? How can you make a new version of this or something? And I would even say it's interesting because like no offense, but like this is the worst looking thumbnail that I'm looking at here, right? But it somehow does the best. So like I like this style a lot. I think that looks nice. But yeah, do a sequel to that. Okay, moving on to Libby now. All right, Libby Telford, your financial independence protected. One thing to note here, we haven't talked about this yet. If you're gonna have a channel trailer, I would definitely not, this to me looks like an advertisement, like it just looks like a commercial. I wouldn't do that. I would just put like your best performing video there, or if it's something that's meant to drive business, like drive people to your website, it should at least look like a normal video, like a YouTube video. Talking head, you explaining that thing, but I would never want to click this video just because it looks like it's going to be an ad for your business. Okay, so we got like 30 subs, 29 videos. You're getting good views for that. I would say you're off to a good start here. I know it can feel slow, like it feels like 29 videos is a lot, but this is good for that. You have a video with 300 views right there. I inherited 150 grand at 25. By 27, it was gone. Interesting. So that definitely was meant to like kind of go viral on the homepage, right? So because no one's typing that in. Why I don't think, okay, so being new, if I was giving you any advice here, I would definitely lean more into search, like I've been saying. Right now, these videos are not these are not meant for search. So I think you need to give YouTube a few more indicators of who you're for, and I think you'll get there even faster. Oh, and you're saying, my channel is new and I need some direction for better branding and call to action. Okay. So don't worry about branding right now. This is a common mistake that people think. Worry about connecting with people on YouTube. Branding is a distant second after that. Your branding will come naturally. Like you'll mention your clients in your videos. I work with this client, and like, by the way, if you want to work with me, go to my website. I'd love to talk to you. And then your website can handle the branding part of it, right? You are the brand in this case. So as long as your face is there, you're good. And your thumbnails look good. So yeah. And I think your faces are good too. Like, I like the ones where like it looks like you're kind of almost in the middle of talking. It makes it feel like I'm going to get something out of it. Here you look like you're making that face of like, like that's the kind of face I was talking about earlier. Like that works pretty well. So yeah, I think you're on the right track here. You're definitely further along than a lot of people are at your stage. Okay, Lana or Lana next. Okay, let me go ahead. I see a couple questions here, so I'm just gonna go over here. So we got one, Digital Gypsy. What do you recommend for a thumbnail if I can't use photos of real people? You should probably use a picture of yourself. This is for personal branding and expert branding for you. So put yourself in the photo. You don't have to use photos of real people. Like if I would say use AI because those look pretty convincing now, depending on if you're doing it the right way. But again, use yourself. It should always be you front and center. There's a case to be made for other kinds of thumbnails of like objects. And I've tried those before. They never tend to work very well. And it's hard for people to really ever attach a video to you. Like if they've watched a lot of your videos and then another one comes up and your face isn't on it, they like don't know it's another one of your videos. So they're going to be less likely to click on it. So yeah. And then we got Rob Perkins. What should I focus on to grow repeat viewers and comments? Yeah. So this is why you want to be making, we talked earlier, I don't know if you were here for it, the beacon videos and then the more community videos. So and lives are a great way for community and for repeat views and comments. Whenever I do this, I can't see how many people are even here right now because I'm doing this through a third-party software. But these live videos, they never get nearly as many views and viewers as if a normal video. But it does a totally different thing, right? Like I'm here with you guys and you can feel it. You can feel that like I'm talking to you, I'm interacting with you. So that's what I would do, especially now where there's so much that's AI. People are, and this is like the next annoying thing that's gonna be coming up. Like every time I post a video, I get like a comment of someone saying like, oh, this is AI, Wes, or like they just want to accuse everything of being AI. And there's going to be a lot more of that coming up. So even if you're showing up for real, you will get the accusations. People are getting like just very skeptical of it. So the more you show up live, the more no one can really dispute that you're really there. Maybe eventually they'll be able to have AI people doing it live, but for now, that'd be pretty hard to do. So, all right, let's get back to it with Lana, Living Radiant. Okay. I like your thumbnails. Fasting without the hunger, my unexpected discovery. The vagus nerve discovery that changed my health completely. I tracked my energy for years after 50. Here's what I found. Okay, so I would say, okay, so you're 68 subscribers. You've done a lot of videos, but I would say you're still probably in that zone where you probably still need to like give YouTube more clues about who you are and what you talk about. So I think you need to probably make your videos a little less, I did this, and more like just how to fill in the blank, right? How how to fast without being hungry. You know, that would probably do better than this version of it. Now, YouTube is getting smarter about keywords, right? Like it technically knows that like fasting without the hunger is the same as like how to fast without getting hungry. But it just helps in a crowded field. The closer you can get to nailing the title, it just kind of stacks the deck in your favor. It's not a guarantee that you're going to end up at the top of that search, but it helps. So yeah, I would just do a little bit more just keyword research and things like I tracked my energy for years after 50. Like that's really one that I feel like doesn't have much, I don't know, like there's no keyword there really at all. I would say like it should be something about like why you have less energy after 50 or how to get more energy back after 50. Something like that. So we're just taking it off of us a little bit. Oh, and by the way, still make the video all about your experiences and your stories and your client stories and all that. But just we're not going to title it that way, right? Do not just deliver dry information about how to do this thing like a robot. No, it'll still come from your experience. But in the title, it's how you can do this, not how I did it. Make sense? All right, next we have Penny. I don't know about you guys, I'm having fun. I love doing this with you guys. All right. Hello, Penny, the master move method. Okay. I'm glad this came up because we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Anytime you have any kind of a proprietary method or anything like that, that gets revealed in the videos. That is not your, that should not be part of your titles. It bothers me a little less here, but it just kind of shows me that maybe you might lean on that proprietary method a little bit too much when nobody knows what it is. So what you want to do is focus on the problem, not the solution. So let's see what you got here. Why brilliant leaders hesitate when it matters most. Okay, so not a search term, right? How to become the leader the business can't ignore. We're getting closer there, but I would say how to become a better leader and do this. Like how to become a better leader so your business can't ignore you. Why you're stuck in operations and how to step into strategy. Okay, so some of them are kind of like search, and a lot of these probably have very low search volume. So you probably want to take a look at what kind of beacon video could you make that still solves the kind of problem that just casts a little bit of a wider net around it, just to get people in the door. It still has to very much talk to your kind of person, right? Whoever that is, but what's like the bigger problem that I can get them all in the door with, and then we can have more specific videos after that. Yeah, I think your thumbnails are fine. They're a little kind of muddy colored, just like the dark blue. I feel like, and the colors are just not very stand out on a crowded page. Even if people have done a search, remember your thumbnail has to compete with everybody else. So I would just go harder into a brighter yellow, a brighter teal color, maybe make this other blue a little brighter, just make it a little bit more. And the other thing too about, okay, I would take your, use fewer words in your thumbnails. Ideally it should be 3 to 4 words max, all right? So we've got a few more channels to do here. I will take a look at some questions now. Jen saying, darn, I missed the live. No, you didn't. We're right here. Trying to see yeah, it's hard for me to go through all these questions because okay, here we go. Sorry, guys. Okay. We have Sydney Marie Davis. How long does it take to shift your niche within YouTube and for it to recategorize you? This one's near and dear to me, Sydney. I've been making videos in one niche, but it's totally different than what I want to focus on now. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys are OG with me, where I used to talk about more like general marketing and even websites and stuff. And I've, the past year and a half, I've gone more all in on talking about YouTube and content marketing and that kind of thing. So YouTube is kind of just now figuring out who I am and like what the new channel focus is. It has been a rough year, if I'm being honest, with all that stuff. So basically, the whole business took a big hit because of it, because like, the views just weren't there. People followed me for one thing. I stopped talking about it, moved on to something else that I feel a lot more strongly about now. But yeah, that's a lot of people just don't follow you over. So Sydney, I would say the one thing you have to, it's not like a magic, like, oh, it takes exactly this long. It's a lot of work you have to do to really, you have to go all in on it. And you have to be unafraid of just ditching basically all of your old people. And I would say too, how far off is your new niche from your old one? For me, it wasn't a complete shift, right? It's still marketing. I still talk to, like service business owners and expert-led businesses, and that's still my demographic. But now I'm talking to the ones who are interested in using YouTube, which is not everybody, right? You guys are here. You're the cool ones who are like, yes, I actually do want to do YouTube because you see the power in it. Most people completely don't see the power in it, or they're too afraid to do it. So many people didn't follow me over. So, yeah, and that's with a niche that's kind of closely related. Depending on yours, like if you're doing, if you're talking about, beauty, and then the next time you're talking about like empowerment or something like that, or business coaching, then you got to disconnect, and it's not going to be for the same person, in which case you'd probably be better off starting a new channel. So all that to say. All right, lead with Jim. What are your thoughts about dialing in on a niche? I've struggled a lot with getting specific, ended up doing a bit of interviews and lives, but want to get back to solo YouTube videos. Yeah, I mean, there's two questions in there. So thoughts about dialing in on a niche. You just kind of have to commit to something. Sometimes your niche finds you even, right? So like if you're a little more general in what you talk about, maybe you start finding that like, oh, people are really responding to this aspect over here and not so much this one. So sometimes it'll steer you in a direction. You just have to pay attention to that. Other than that, like, I don't know what else to say. I could talk about that for hours, but we just got a few more of these to get through here. We did not look at Rob Perkins yet. Okay, so Rob Perkins, you're up now. All right. More jobs, more wealth, less stress. All right. Don't F it up. The 7 mistakes keeping film crew off call sheets. Okay. So I help freelance film crew. Okay. So like, this does not tell me anything about being for film crews. Like the lights here are the closest I get, and that's like I completely missed it. So I would want to see like a big promise up here about like helping film crews book more jobs, right? With less stress. All right. 7 mistakes keeping film crew off call sheets. Like I know what call sheets are, and I know they do too, but like I don't know if that they'd be typing in like keeping me off call sheets, right? Like it's just kind of a, oh, sorry. I was not sharing my screen. All right, here we go. Here we go. Sorry, Rob. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, so like up here, it doesn't say anything about film crews. And then when I said don't F it up, that was in reference to this. I wasn't just getting fresh with you guys. Okay, so 7 mistakes keeping film crew off call sheets. How to network better than 99% of film crew. Veteran crew member. Let me just see what your popular ones are. Film crew who never run out of work do this. Okay. How saying no, maybe more money, mindset shift. I think it might just need to get back to back to basics, like how to book more jobs as a film crew member, because I doubt there's a ton of competition in your niche. I would guess it feels pretty niche to me. So I think you can cover some broader topics that these guys might actually be typing in. So I would definitely lean into that. I think your thumbnails look pretty good. I don't have any issues with those. One thing is I might just have a few more like visual indicators that this is for film crews, right? Have some like light. I know you've got kind of like a lighting thing behind you there, but it's kind of dulled out. I would make it, with AI, it's so easy now to like put yourself in any situation. I would put yourself like on a film set, basically, and that would be, as opposed to like talking to a microphone, like, no, you're like, have you be the crew member on a film set, basically. Visual indicators are important. You know, it helps people understand what it's about. All right, Wendy, you're up next. Only got Wendy and Jen after that, and then my list is done. Let's see. Wendy Shepke, Weston, Florida real estate. Okay. Cool. I like your thumbnails. They're nice and vibrant. Cool. Why families choose Weston over Parkland, vice versa. Yeah. So this is more what I'm talking about. We had the other Florida realtor earlier, and it was all just kind of real estate listings. This is more what I mean when I say evergreen videos. So these are good. Why families choose Weston over Parkland. Weston, Florida, hidden neighborhoods. Great. And I actually think like, okay, so you have 27 subs, 112 videos. Let me see what's popular. Why your Weston home isn't selling. Okay. So I would do more about that. Like if your home isn't selling, like Weston, you know, curb appeal trick, like lean into that as long as sellers are your demographic and not buyers, but yeah, just take your clues from what's been doing well for you. But I would also compare cities, right? Because like sometimes people will be people won't necessarily. Here, like for instance, I was telling earlier about how I'm planning on like, you know, we're maybe going to move to the suburbs in a few years. So I've been wrapping my mind around like where might we want to live. So it's like Chicagoland suburbs. Like what's your closest major metropolitan? And you might want to title some of your videos with that, right? And then within the video, you hype up Weston. Just an idea. But yeah, I like your thumbs here very much. Let me just dive into a video real quick.
Weston and Parkland look almost identical on paper. Same county, same A-rated schools, same family-friendly reputation. But the way daily life feels in each one is surprisingly different.
Okay, so I feel like it's a lot of words to kind of say something simple. Like Weston and Parkland may seem the same, but if you choose wrong, you know, you're gonna regret your decision, basically. So make it a little bit more pointed. Hooks do matter. Like you do have to hook them in. So, but good job. All right, Jen, this is our last one we've got, and we'll probably wrap it up after this. I might take a few questions after this, but we'll probably wrap up the reviews. Tyler, can you tell me how many people are in this live right now? I can't really see it, if you can see. Okay, Jen Vasquez Media, easy marketing for busy women, grow your business with Pinterest. Okay, so I would just say grow your business the easy way with Pinterest. And I would replace like all this other stuff on here. Because we don't really need, that's the thing too, we don't necessarily need the photo of you on the banner when we already have it here. That goes for everybody, if I forgot to mention it earlier. Just big promise here. All right, Thanks, Tyler. We have 85 people. It's more than I would have thought this late. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Almost 2 hours in. I love doing this with you guys. It's really fun. This is the first time I've ever done this on YouTube Live, so I want to do this definitely more often. All right. Why your brand photos aren't booking clients. How to find Pinterest keywords that get your business found by the right people. Stop chasing Pinterest impressions, chase this. Cool. 921 videos. Okay, so we have one of like 40,000 views. So here's what I would be willing to bet here, Jen, is I think that Pinterest is less popular now than it used to be. And forgive me if I'm talking out of school here, if I'm wrong with that. But I think you can probably expect that whatever audience you had in the true heyday of Pinterest marketing, you may not have it again. Again, forgive me if I'm completely wrong. I might be. I'm just not I just don't hear as much about Pinterest as I used to. But you've definitely got like some videos that were doing pretty well for you. So how to share a link of designer Canva. Okay, so basically what this tells me is like, these are things that people want to look up, like how to do A, B, and C quick little task. Those are going to be a lot less valuable now with AI. So I wouldn't even encourage you necessarily to keep making videos like that. Maybe sometimes here and there, just like maybe as a quick beacon video. The problem though with those kind of videos are that they kind of attract people who are just going to come like, okay, got it, on with it, and they'll never remember you after that. So they don't really do what you were hoping they would do by like hooking someone in to watch more of your videos. So yeah, I would definitely see like, what do we have? Tailman's Ghostwriter review. Okay, a review. How to claim your website in Pinterest. Do we have anything here with AI? Using AI to help you. I'm not seeing anything. I think you're definitely missing an opportunity, and I know that AI is a very charged topic. So like maybe your people don't like AI, maybe you don't like AI. So that's something you'd have to navigate for yourself. But if you can hook AI to Pinterest and like how to automate something, how to get great photos with AI to use on Pinterest, I think that might work pretty well for you. But overall, I mean, your view counts are not bad. You know, some are like in the triple digits, so that's good. Your thumbnails, I might accuse them of being a little busy, some of them, but like it also does kind of have the Pinterest look, so maybe it's by design. But like right here, 1 hour marketing workflow, then the tagline, so it's like 3 messages, plus an icon, plus you, plus a very busy background. So things like that, I would just be careful about. All right. Okay, I said that was going to be our last one. This will be our last one. So let's, I guess to my team, let's stop adding any to the spreadsheet at this point. Okay, peak professionals, peak performance, mindset mastery, long-term results. Again, I don't quite get the promise there, so you want to work on that and make sure it's very clear. So you have 3 videos. You're a baby. You're just starting out here. Okay. Choline boosted my focus but killed my motivation. Warning. Gen X gut health mistakes that ruin your memory. How men over 45 get their focus back. Ooh, I need that. All right. I just use caffeine. That's what I do. I'm sure you'd have something to tell me. Yeah, I think that could do well. And by the way, for having 3 videos and to have one video with over 100 views on it already, you're killing it. You're killing it. Like that's actually really good. So what I would think is, this to me seems like the most obscure thing, but maybe choline is something people are searching on. I don't know. What I would do is like, when you're just starting, I would do a little less on like, here's what I did. Here's my, because you haven't built up the authority yet in 3 videos. No offense, but like once I see you've got a bunch of videos, now I'm thinking, okay, he's an authority. But for now, I would just focus on answering FAQs that you get in your business. That's like the first 10 videos anybody should do. That trains YouTube a little bit about what you're about. It naturally leans into search behavior. So do that, and then you can start leaning more into like obscure things. But right now, you should be doing more beacon videos than anything else, like just big topics and or FAQs. All right, cool. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to be done with screen sharing now. I'm just going to see if there's any questions that I haven't seen. Oh, one's interesting. Okay, so I will not do this as a channel review. What I will do though, because it's an interesting question, they want to see if I know at a glance what their channel's about. So let me see. Tactical Mindscapes. Let's see. Tactical Mindscapes, understand systems, lead humans, master both. No. Delegating to weak leaders will never work in the long run. Most dangerous leadership. Yeah, I have no idea, because it looks like you're combining gaming with like life lessons. So, it probably it's probably something that has legs, like to be kind of a viral channel. But yeah, it's not immediately clear to me. So sorry about that. I would definitely just to at least do something on your banner and your about section to make people understand what it is. But yeah. Okay. And then Webmaker Circle, agree, this is a very valuable session. Thank you very much, appreciate that. And you said, I am using the vidIQ Claude connector. Cool, yeah, please do that. Oh, and by the way, I have a deal with them. If it's in the link in the description, it should be, where you get a month of vidIQ for $1. So highly recommend trying that. It'll at least get you like a good content calendar of topics to come up with. So you connect vidIQ to Claude. I can't tell you how to do it right now, but you can find it on YouTube. It's pretty easy. It's just a connector. And then you go into Claude and you ask it like, here's what my business sells. Here's what problems we solve. Dig into my channel, dig into my competitor channels. Give me a list of 20 topics that are guaranteed to do really well for me and to sell booking, help me make bookings and all that kind of stuff. You'll be surprised what it can do for you. Let's see, so Just Notified says, I did a pivot and fell as I don't have a core audience. My vids stalled at a couple hundred views. Yeah, pivots are tricky. And sometimes it does take a while for that to work. So sometimes it actually makes sense to just make a new channel. Again, if it's far enough away from what you were talking about before, you might need to do that. Let's see. Are horizontal videos preferred over vertical? Yeah, so I mean, it's not that they're horizontal or vertical, it's that, longs or shorts, basically. Longs let you go longer and build more of a connection with people, right? It's them getting a sense of your thinking and seeing what you're about and actually building trust with you. Shorts are for entertainment. They very rarely lead to any kind of real business. And furthermore, there used to be the idea that like, okay, I'll get people with shorts and then they'll make their way over to see my long form videos. They've never really made that work. Turns out most shorts viewers are just different people than most longs viewers, and it's hard to get them over from one to the other. So I say spend all that time and energy on long videos that actually build a connection. It's gonna just do so much better for you. Let's see here. AKP Business Advisors, is there a recommended length for your videos? Not specifically, but what I will say is I wouldn't go too short. And when I say too short, I mean like under 6 or 7 minutes. That's just not going to do great. YouTube doesn't necessarily love to recommend those videos to people. I find the sweet spot personally for most cases to be between 8 and 12 minutes. I don't know if there's any like logic to that, but it's something. Oh, I got a super chat from, thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting super chat. So yeah, thank you. But let me just finish what I was saying. So yeah, you definitely want to, yeah, it's more about sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. Does that ever happen to you guys? Yeah, recommended length for your videos. 8 to 12 minutes, I think, is a sweet spot. You can even go longer, but I wouldn't do that all the time. Just like experiment with it. But yeah, don't ever do anything. I just wouldn't ever do anything that's like under 6 minutes. I think it's kind of useless. All right, so super chat time from John Publon. Finally started after 2 years of overthinking. Okay, well, I'll give you a channel review, John, because it's a super chat. I owe you that. So let me just share my screen here. So we have it's John Publon. Okay, let's find out how far this goes. So not much of a promise, right? So let's make sure we have that. So I don't know what your channel's about at first glance, right? I stopped scripting and this happened. Don't pick a niche, do this instead. I wasted 2 years before starting YouTube. Start now even if nobody watches. Okay, okay, so you're talking about YouTube, cool. You definitely, I think you need to, again, start with more search-based stuff when you're getting started. You do have good views here. I mean, I'm actually interested to see how that works because, yeah, maybe you just got featured on the homepage here on your first try. That would be pretty cool. And then maybe those people found this one after. But like, don't pick a niche. Like, I wouldn't know what that's referring to, right? Unless I really know you and I know that you're always talking about YouTube. Don't pick a niche. Like, that could refer to just like business in general. So I would definitely make sure you're going to be more specific, especially when you're starting out. You can be a little more vague and a little bit more, curiosity based later. But for now, if you really want to grow, you should do that, right? Good job. Yeah, the style's cool. Again, it's just kind of that like casual hangout type video that can work out pretty well. Nice. All right, but we're really done this time with those. Probably going to wrap this up pretty quick. So we have Still with Deborah. Channel name, shorts or driving views. I have them drive back to long form. Is this the best approach? I get views, just not subscribers. Yeah. So again, this is the kind of thing of like, you want to drive from shorts to long form, but it doesn't generally work that well. What you will find is you will even get subscribers sometimes from shorts, but they just don't turn into anything. So I would just tell you, Deborah, like even if the shorts are driving views, well, I would ask you, I mean, I know you can't answer me here, I probably won't get to the answer, but if I'm wrong in your case, and if shorts are actually making people watch your long form, then you have my permission to keep going. They've just found out that doesn't generally work that well. All right, Mark Hoffmeister. About creating a website to sell merch. Give tool, yeah, I don't really talk about, that's not really what I get into, Mark. Sorry about that. Can't really help you there. I'm a corporate attorney focused on startups, the VC ecosystem. Would starting a channel help me market? Yeah, I would say a couple things. It can definitely help. especially if you can work with people anywhere. If it's a lot more concentrated, if you can only work with people locally, then it's going to be less helpful for you. Not unhelpful at all. Like there's ways of making it work. There's plenty of examples of people who have made a successful business off of YouTube with a local market. But the more you can help people anywhere, the better it's going to do for you. And, you know, obviously as a corporate attorney, like your average client is probably worth a lot to you. So you don't need crazy views. You just need the right views. So yeah, it can definitely help you. Then we have webmakers. Okay. I'm using vidIQ and Claude to pick the right topics that speak to my ICP, but I'm having trouble making my videos in the language my prospects speak. How do I simplify without dumbing things down? Well, vidIQ should be, are you saying making your actual videos? I don't know what you mean, because if you're using vidIQ and Claude, it should already be using the words that people are using to search. I take this to mean the way you're speaking in your videos. You're speaking at too high a level. Very common stuff. So yes, Claude will help you with that. I use Claude to help me write all of my scripts. I'm pretty naturally good at knowing how to, like, I'm not going to say dumb it down, but like I try not to talk in words that only other marketers would know. So yeah, it's just about explaining things simply, and Claude can definitely help you do that. All you want to do is, like, even if you're going to write, if you insist on writing the script yourself, do that, but then run it through Claude and say, I need this to be set at a, believe it or not, 7th grade level and sound natural for, you know, human speech, not for writing. So what that does, 7th grade, I have found in a lot of testing to be the sweet spot of that's what sounds very like basic in a way that everyone understands, but it doesn't sound childish, right? I've tried 5th grade, like some people say 5th grade, and then it starts using phrases like, so this is really cool when you, that's a little dumb, right? But 7th grade, I think is kind of perfect for that. Let's see what we got. Alan, where's the best place very specifically to have the offer? Don't know what you mean exactly. You want to have the link to your offer page on your YouTube channel, right? They give you a place for it, and you want to have it at the top of every description. Then that link needs to send them to a landing page, ideally. It shouldn't just be your homepage of your website. It should be a specific landing page, either for like the lead magnet you were offering, or, you know, how to book time with you, or whatever that is. Let's see. We will wrap it up in just a second, guys. Seeing if there's any more questions. I'm not really seeing anything off the bat here. Sorry, this is super boring right now, guys. Sorry. I think we're probably done here. Oh wait, here we go. We got one. VNM educates. Do you prefer a motion designer / editor or using AI for visuals like animations you have? Okay, this is a great question. Okay, so I have an editor who I love. He's a great editor. Took me a long time to find a really good one. So he's got a job for as long as he wants it on my team, for sure. Having said that, if I were new and just starting out, I'd still want an editor, because like I think I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about like using Claude as your editor. It's kind of complicated. Like there's a lot of moving parts to it. Where it can do a basic job of editing your videos for you, I still think it's important to have a person doing it. But I love AI for coming up with some of the assets that you're going to use. So you can use Claude animations for your full screen, like, you know, if you're going to cut from your talking head to like a point that comes up in text on screen for like a dramatic effect, you can do that in Claude Design. And it'll, like, you set up a design system, and it's always going to be very consistent. I love AI for B-roll, specifically custom B-roll that's like has me in it. I always find that's a little more special. than just like the standard stock B-roll of random people. It just works well. And AI B-roll is actually pretty good now, especially if you use CDANs too. Old B-roll of me, you've probably noticed in a lot of my old videos, like there's a lot of AI B-roll of me, and it looks kind of AI. But the stuff my editor is making now with it, I would be fooled. Like I would be fooled. I'm like, that is me in some of those clips. So there's definitely a lot of good to be had there, and it's just a lot of time savings, and it ends up being pretty cheap. All right. Oh, this one's interesting. This is the last one we'll do. All right. AKB Business Advisor's best way to drive traffic and views to your channel and videos if you don't have a budget for advertising. Glad this came up. Do nothing to drive views to your YouTube channel. Here's why. If you were to, not even on your socials or anything, the more you do that, you're sending bad data to YouTube. Think about it. So if you're sending people from like Instagram to a YouTube video, and they're not in the headspace, they didn't choose to go to YouTube, like they're not settling in for a YouTube session, they may click on it out of sheer curiosity. Then they're gonna see like, okay, cool, not ready for it, I'll come back later, but they won't. So then YouTube just sees like, okay, people are just randomly coming to this video and then immediately leaving. Or let's say you send it to your family and your friends, right? Please support my channel by watching this video. Now you've got your mom watching, and she normally watches like gardening content. You've got your cousin watching, who watches sports wrap-ups or whatever. And you've got all these different people with radically different behaviors, none of which are your target market, by the way. You're dirtying the data for YouTube. So you want the beauty part of YouTube is it markets for you. If you lean into the right systems, you target for search, you then graduate eventually into like more curiosity-based titles that it shows to people on the homepage. YouTube very much knows what it's doing. Don't gunk up the works by sending people to it. The only thing that I think is that's okay to do is if you have an email list, I would email your list weekly as a new video comes out, but you want to tell them, here's the problem this solves and here's why you want to watch it. Do not just say like, watch my video. Tee it up as a solution to a problem that they have, and then they might be willing to actually watch it, and it's probably going to be the right viewer at that point. So, all right, cool guys. That'll do for this time, but I am planning on doing this more. This was fun. I'm a little talked out after 2 hours, but yeah, thanks for sticking with me this long. It's been fun. And I'll see you guys next time we do it. Bye for now. See ya.